Hello and welcome to episode 138 of the Graceful Tangle podcast. I'm Amy Kate. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. I have a few things to share with you guys this week. It actually feels like a little bit less than usual, but it's been a full 2 weeks. It's been a good 2 weeks, but it's also been just lots of time spent doing other things as well. So I don't have as much content to share as I feel like, and I'm also in the middle of a few projects right now that I'm really trying to get done, and they're all very big projects. So I'll be sharing all of those in this episode though, so it's going to be a good one nonetheless. Let's go ahead and just hop into it today with some finished objects. Okay, I only have one FO to share this week, and it is actually a new design. So I just published this new pattern, and I am so obsessed with it. This is the Straya beanie. I absolutely love how it turned out. This pattern features slip stitch color work, so you're only working with one color per round, which I just love. It's such a fun technique. It's so beginner friendly. A lot of times with color work, it's really hard to kind of maintain a certain gauge, just because you're using multiple colors at the same time, and so you don't have that problem with slip stitch color work, which just means that, you know, that nice stretchy cozy beanie that we all love in terms of knitted beanies, you still have it with this pattern, which is really fun. I'm so happy with how this pattern turned out. I use Knit Picks Capra, I think is how you pronounce it, DK weight yarn, and I highly recommend it. I will link it down below, but any DK weight yarn will work, and I will also link the pattern. Y'all are loving this pattern, which makes me so happy and grateful, so just thank you so much for that. I appreciate your support so much. But yeah, so new pattern. You can find it on Ravelry and Etsy, but it's also free on the blog if you would prefer to use it that way. But yeah, I love how it turned out. Here is kind of like a close-up of the stitch pattern. I also think it would be so beautiful if you did like a self-striping yarn in replace of the gray, and it would kind of be like a gradient going up. I feel like that would be so pretty as well. But you know, I chose 2 solid colors for mine, and I really like the way that it looks as well. It's also so cozy on. So yeah, and that is it. That is the only info that I have to share this week. I did release a new dishcloth pattern as well, the Simplicity dishcloth. I don't have any right here to show just because I've been kind of making them and then putting them up as I go instead of having so many to show. But you can check out that pattern as well. It is also a free tutorial, step-by-step tutorial here on the channel, and I will link it below if you would like to check that out and kind of learn and crochet along with me. But yeah, like I said, I'm working on 3 big whips right now, so let's just go ahead and talk about those. The first work in progress that I have to share is something that I have not shared yet. I am doing a sample for Caitlin of Originally Lovely and Originally Lovely Yarns, and it is going so well. I have put so much time into this the past week since I received the yarn, but I'm trying to get it done in as timely of a fashion as possible, so that is why. But I am making, I believe it's called the October sweater. I will link the pattern down below. I think that's right, which is one of Caitlin's patterns. It is so fun. It's so beginner friendly. This is going to be like the coziest sweater ever. I'm kind of sad I have to send it back to her, but I'm definitely going to be making one for myself because it's such a fun pattern. But it's just a top-down raglan sweater. Features the stockinette stitch, which is just perfect and mindless. I actually just split for the sleeves, and I'm only a few rows past it, so I'm kind of in like this endless sea of stockinette right now, which I am not complaining about because it is the perfect thing to work on while I'm reading. So I feel like I've talked about this in the past, but I think it is so fun to knit and read at the same time if you are at a place in your knitting where you don't have to look at it. I also tend to be reading a book that I don't have to like think as much about. I really enjoy reading like theology books and kind of history books or history inspired books, but at the same time I am a sucker for Christian fiction as well with a little bit of romance. I just love it so much. So those are kind of the books that I've been reading while working on this project. You know, something that you don't have to think too hard about, but that you can just kind of enjoy and be entertained by while you are doing the same thing with your hands over and over and over again, which is very nice. And it's a little better than just, you know, watching TV or something. Reading is better as a whole. So anyways, and there are so many books that I want to read, and it's so hard for me to just sit down and read a book because, especially when I know I'm supposed to be working on other things too. But if I can work on the sweater that, you know, has to get done and read, it seems like that productive need is being met as well. But complete tangent there. My point is, this sweater has taken a lot of time, but it has been so fun to work on. So I'm really excited to see more progress. I'm hoping to finish it like as soon as possible. I would love to have it as an FO in the next episode, which will be in 2 weeks. So I'm kind of hoping I can make that happen. Aiming for the body this week and then the sleeves next week. That's the goal. I think I can do it. But we'll just have to see, I suppose. I am using, again, Originally Lovely yarn in the Fluff line. And this is an Aran weight yarn. They come in at 50 gram. It comes in 50 gram balls with 142 yards. 70% baby alpaca, 7% merino wool, and 23% polyamide. So it is literally the squishiest, lightest yarn ever. It is so fluffy. It's very similar to me to We Crochet Wonder Fluff, I think is what it's called. It's similar, but it's a little bit thinner, and I would say even softer. I can't remember if the Wonder Fluff yarn has wool in it or not. I don't remember off the top of my head, but anyway, this is going so well. And I'm so excited, honestly, to finally be past splitting for the sleeves, because once you get to that point, it just goes faster because you have so many sleeve stitches, like for the entire yoke of the sweater. And it has to get to like a certain amount of inches before you split, and so it took me a little while to get to that point. But once I got there, I'm working on the body now, which is faster. It's a little bit less stitches. Alrighty, that is the first thing that I'm working on. Second thing is a pair of crocheted socks. It has been a while since I have made a pair of these, but I wanted to kind of revisit the pattern just a little bit, give it an update if needed, and make another pair for myself. But yeah, so this is my crochet sock pattern. It's called the Satisfaction Socks. It's a free pattern on Ravelry and my blog. You can also find the PDF on Etsy. It's inexpensive on Etsy as always. You just can't list anything for free on that website. So here's what I currently have. I finished the cuff and I'm just working on the leg now. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a shorter leg on these than I do for typical knit socks and for like what's required or called for in the pattern itself. I just want to try some crochet ankle socks. So I think that's what I'm going to do for these. So I'm going to be placing the heel, I think after I get to 10 rounds is kind of what I told myself. And I'm at like 7 right now, I think. So, anyways, this is just fun to kind of work on here and there. But yeah, this yarn is so fun too. I really love it. I think it's so cute. I'm using We Crochet Hawthorne in, I forget, Confetti Speckle maybe is what it's called. I don't have the tag in here. But it's super fun. Reminds me of like birthday cake and sprinkles, which is just makes me happy. So anyways, that is the next thing that I'm working on. And then 2 more projects. This blanket has not grown much at all, unfortunately, but I just have not had time to work on it lately. But it's grown a little bit, I think. This is a seed stitch blanket that I'm doing for a commission. Yeah, that's what it looks like right now. Like, it feels like it's never gonna end. I'm not gonna lie. It is just a lot of knitting, and it's knitting that is like, I'm using size 11 needles, but a super bulky yarn, so it's a pretty tight gauge. And it's seed stitch, which is knitting a stitch, purling a stitch forever and ever and ever. So yeah, it just takes a while. It takes me about 5 minutes to do just one row. So anyway, it's okay. It's gonna get done. I am enjoying it a little bit. And I'm so grateful for the commission, of course, but it is time intensive for sure. But yeah, I'm hoping to make some progress. It's also kind of frustrating because I can't really read and work on this. I haven't tried like hard, so I'll try again once that sweater is done, I think. But it's just the way, like, because you have to switch between knitting and purling so much, and just the yarn and gauge and how it's kind of tight, it's just difficult to do it without looking. Like, I've done it and watched a show, and that works well, but I can't really read and like pay attention to where I am at the page, because if I'm watching TV I can, you know, look down and up and it doesn't matter, and I do that all the time, but for reading it's a little bit different. So anyway, all of that to say, it will get done eventually. I was hoping to have it done in April. I'm not saying goodbye to that goal yet. I'm still hoping to make that happen. We'll see. We'll see. Wish me luck. That's all I can say. Wish me luck. Definitely by, like, my birthday is in May. I really want to have it done by then. Just because that's like another good cutoff. That's a whole nother month. Yeah, that would be a good goal too. So we'll see what happens. And then the last project that I'm working on, this is technically a design, but I'm going to go ahead and show it because I'm not going to show any other designs this week, just because they're not really at places that are good to show right now. So this is a cardigan that I am making for my sister. Her birthday is March 15th, which when you're saying this is the day before. So let's hope I have this done. I think I'm going to be able to get it done. I'm working on a front panel right now. I have the back panel finished, and then I just have one more front panel and both sleeves. So I have lots of crocheting still to do on this, but it's going well, and it's pretty quick at the same time, which is nice. But here's what it currently looks like. So like I said, this is just the back panel, but it gives you a good concept of what it's going to look like. It's a size larger than I would do for myself, so that's why it looks huge, but it's not actually huge. It's designed to be oversized, and I wanted to make sure I'm making it long enough for her because she is taller than me, which is so sad, but anyway. But yeah, I love it. I hope she loves it. This is the first time that I'm making her a garment. First time I'm making anybody except for, well, that's not true. I've made some garments for other people now that I'm thinking about it, but anyway, I'm super excited about this. I hope that she loves it. I really hope she loves it. But yeah, we'll see. I'm using We Crochet Brava 500 for the gray and Dove Heather. And then this color is I want to see if I can see the label. I can't. It's a Red Heart Collage maybe, or something like that. Kaleidoscope, maybe that's right. I'm not sure. But it's a single ply yarn that is multicolor. So it's kind of got this really fun gradient going on, which I think is so pretty. Yeah. So I hope she loves it. Like I said, it's going great. I started it so long ago, so it's frustrating that I'm like biting the bullet to get it done in time. But I also like wrote the entire pattern, did all of the math, all of the yardage, everything, and then realized that that method was completely ridiculous for actually using 2 colors of yarn based on the amount of rows that I was doing in each color. Like, it would have been so many ends and just not practical at all. So I'm not ditching that other pattern idea. I'm actually going to do it and just use a solid color yarn. It's going to be great. I'm going to do that this fall. But I had to completely start over and write a whole new pattern for it. So it just added quite a lot of time and just a lot of, you know, brain space. But anyway, it's going great now, and I'm hoping that I can get it done as soon as possible. So that is actually it for all of the knitting and crochet talk this week. Kind of a shorter episode, I feel like. But that's okay. Anyway, yes, let's see, what else did I want to talk about? I do have a little devotional, or just kind of some books that I wanted to share with you guys this week. And I think that'll be it. So I hope you choose to stick around for that. So, side note, before I hop into talking about these books, I hope that you have a beverage to sip on. By the way, I have some coffee because the time changed this morning, which is, like how we refer to it, is spring forward. We lost an hour, which is like so frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. I was also, I mean, at the same time, I was very proud of myself because I actually did not like sleep late this morning. I wasn't completely exhausted when I got out of bed, but it has just been a long week, and I feel like I have so much heavy on my mind, and it's a gloomy day, so like part of me just wants to be sleeping. I'm not gonna lie. But instead, I am filming this podcast, and I am grateful for that, and then I have lots of other work to do. So all good things. It's just life is just a lot. Sometimes I'm realizing life is just a lot, and that's okay. But we know where our hope is. We know where our strength is found. We know where our joy is found, and sometimes when it is hard to find that in other places, we have to just stand firm in the fact that God doesn't change, no matter if circumstances change, or if seasons are hard, or if you just don't know, what's going on. It's kind of the boat that I'm in right now, I feel like. We can trust in him, and we can trust in his plans, and we can find peace and rest in him alone, and that is rewarding in and of itself, and we can find such rest in that because it's found in him. So anyway, kind of deviated from my original plan there, but I wanted to mention these books that I finished reading this week because they were so good. And I highly recommend them. My dad actually recommended this little series to me, and so I read them, and like they've opened the door to so many amazing conversations between him and me, which has just been so beautiful. I'm so thankful for my dad and just the spiritual leadership that he is able to give me all the time. I'm so grateful for that. But these books are by Joe Thorne, The Character of the Church, Life of the Church, and then Heart of the Church. And it's really just kind of giving an overview of how the church is supposed to look like, and kind of how we are supposed to be in this world as Christians, and how we're supposed to be a light, how we're supposed to hold ourselves within the church, and just the traditions that we participate in or don't participate in, and why, kind of getting to the root of knowing what we believe, and why it's not, we should always go to scripture for the final answer, the final word. That's where we should go for everything. But at the same time, it's so beautiful to be able to learn from other people too, and to be able to glean insight and knowledge and wisdom from people that are called by God to give it to other people. So anyways, this series was so good. I learned so much. He talks about a lot. One of the things that I'm trying to remember which one I read. I finished one this week, but I accidentally read them out of order. It's actually this. Thank you, Jesus. Is this exact page is what I wanted to mention, and it's talking about our vocation as Christians, and how sometimes the job that we're put into, or the work that we do every day, is not exactly our passion. Is something, sometimes it can be something that is hard to find joy in and of itself. Sometimes it can feel a little bit mundane. But this passage in this book, which is the Life of the Church, is talking about how even if our job is not our biggest passion, we're still called to be joyful in it and to serve God through it. And one of the things that he said, let's see. So this passage right here, it says, your job may resonate with the deepest longings of your heart, or it may be tiresome, causing you to long for something better. In either case, where we work is where God has placed us to honor him and serve others. And then he shares a verse, 1 Corinthians 7:17. It says, let each person lead the life that the Lord has assigned to him and to which God has called him. This is my rule in all the churches. And then going on, your job is part of what God has assigned you. While you are there, you are called to love and serve others. So I just want to use that as a little bit of encouragement. No matter what your job is, if you have one, or if you work inside the home, or if you are a stay-at-home mom, or a dad, or a grandmother, or a different season of life, whatever the case may be, we're called to love and serve others and to give God the glory. And so sometimes that means different things in different seasons of life, but it's still possible, and there's still a reason God has put you in that position that he has put you in right now. And so I just pray that you can have the courage and just the insight to love and serve others and glorify him no matter what season of life that you're in. And I truly believe that he gives us the power to do that because of his spirit inside of us. It's not by our own strength, it's not by our own might, it's by him who lives inside us, because he who is in us is greater than the one that he is in the world. But yeah, I hope that was a little bit of an encouragement for you. Like I said, it has been kind of a long week, and I've got another big one coming up, but it's good. So much to be grateful for, even in the midst of some confusion and just not knowing what path to take. Just trust in his plans, because they're good, and he is good, and he is faithful, even when we're struggling to be. But yeah, I hope that you have had such a good week, and that you continue to have one. We have a birthday to celebrate in the family, which is going to be so fun. lots of projects to work on, and like I said, I am enjoying reading so much right now, so I'm hoping to have some time to do that as well, and that you have time to do things that you enjoy, but that you are also given just the wisdom to spend time wisely and honor him through it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all again next time.